How is everybody? We've just had an announcement today that by the Welsh government that we're going back into lockdown, which is a bit of a pain. It's pretty crap. It's not great. I don't know what it's going to achieve, but so we're all going to be locked in our houses again, which is a lot of fun. So I don't know how your weekend was. Let me know. What's everybody drinking? I'm taking in a Hoegaarden. I don't know if you've tried it before, but it's a wheat beer. It's very nice. So here's to the week. What else? What else have I been up to? Well, I'm trying to do a bit of a keto diet at the moment. So I'm trying to stay away from sugars, carbs, potato, rice, and it's not the easiest for me. I love a bit of rice. I like a curry. I like bread. I like potatoes. So it's not easy. But for dinner tonight, my wife cooked steak. Imagine this: steak and chips. So that's a classic English meal: steak and chips. And she was like, "Do you want to? I'll have steak and chips. Do you want to have steak and kale?" I'm like, "Steak and kale." Like, it sounds horrendous. Knowing that kale's nice. Kale is nice, but steak and kale, it's just not got the same ring as steak and chips, has it? But like I conceded because, like, over the years, like since I started to work in pubs, and over the years I started to put on weight, and kind of before I was very, very fit, but yeah, I started to put on weight, and so I just want to get back to shape, really, just get fit again. So I don't know. So I conceded. I overrode my kind of my subconscious that really wanted the steak and the chips. I really wanted to eat that steak and chips. So I said, no, that's fine. I'll have steak and kale. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm in that zone now where I'm sticking to my diet, and I'm going out maybe running 2 or 3 times a week. I do one high intensity interval training session. So hopefully I'll be back in shape before too long. But yes, I've just been just having a look at just watching Wolves against Leeds, the mighty Wolves. So we've just taken 3 points against Leeds. So I don't know if anybody watched it, but yeah, we're on it, man. We're on it. We're collecting those points off all your boys. And I saw a comment about the team saying that it was somebody from Spain actually who said that. Wolves are like Atletico Madrid in that they use the tactic of uno serismo. And uno serismo is uno, zero, which is 1-0. So they just like to win games 1-0, 1-0. So they're all wins, aren't they, at the end of the day? So so welcome, man. Welcome. I'm really, really happy to have you here. So let's get into it. What are you all drinking? Let me know. Drop in the comments. Whatever you're drinking, just put in the comments. It'd be cool to hear. But I'm trying to educate you people. So Hoegaarden, if you get Hoegaarden, I don't know where you are in the world, but in the UK we get Hoegaarden. I don't know if you guys, if there's anybody in other places, in Australia, in the US, whatever, in Canada. It's really delicious. So yeah, so this one of the things I noticed recently is that with all this kind of culture that we've got at the moment of kind of like polarized culture where people are really fighting each other at the moment, it's quite sad. So I know that a lot of it's like down to elections and the US election and different things going on, but it just seems a bit like it didn't ever used to be like that. It always used to, people would always have kind of, they'd have disagreements, they'd have arguments, and they wouldn't agree. But we would always get along. Like, you'd accept people. You go, actually, like, that person's this. That person, if we're talking about politics, that person's right wing. I'm left wing. And so, like, we agree to disagree, but we're still friends. But it just seems today like we're really struggling at the moment. I don't know why people are struggling so bad to stick together and kind of just let it go, really. So I just think like one of the things that's happened is I think that the media, like social media, the social media companies and the media in general have taught people to have to oppose different opinions. So if it's not your opinion, you're like, okay, get it out of here. I'm not interested. It's not my opinion. Like I don't agree with that. That's bullshit. And I don't. And I think we've been taught that, and I think they've kind of slowly drilled it into us, and it's so bad. It's just not helping. It's not helping the way that we are as a society. It's really. I feel like it's damaging us. I don't know what you feel. And also, like online versus real life. Online has become easier to cancel somebody's opinion or to dismiss somebody and say, okay, I don't agree with your opinion, so therefore I'm just not going to listen to you, which is silly. Like, you won't learn anything. You're not going to learn anything if you're not going to listen to other people. It just doesn't work like that. So for me, that's a real shame that people can't accept other people's diverse opinions, even if it's opposing to yours, and then just and kind of just say, okay, it's still cool that we're friends. It's still cool that we're family members. It just divides people now. So, like, as an example, I have a friend who we're in a football group, and these two friends in the football group had a bit of an argument, and so like the one guy eventually he just turned around and said, you know what? Like, I'm no longer having this argument anymore, and I'm out. Okay, bye. I'm not interested in kind of speaking to you anymore. And it's so like it took me back to school. It's like so childish, but that's the way that things are going now. I don't know why. I don't know why our arguments are going that way these days. It's really sad, in my opinion. And again, as I say, I think it's being taught. It's not. It's easier to kind of online. It's easier to kind of cancel people and just ignore them rather than taking on their opinion. But you can learn. Like, you can learn from people if you listen to their opinion. So I don't know. It just seems to me that's what it seems that's happened in the modern day. Is we seem to have started to cancel people rather than discussing the kind of the matter at hand. And so, like, what it's replaced is doing everything online. What it's replaced is face-to-face disagreements and discussions, which always used to happen. And it might have happened, for example, it might have happened in the pub. So you might have had a disagreement with somebody in the pub, and it may have been that two people in the pub would have a disagreement, and then they'd argue it out. They'd argue that disagreement out, and it may have even gone to the next level where it became physical. God, heaven forbid today, where two people get physical over a disagreement. But people, in the UK, I don't know in the rest of the world, but especially in the UK, people used to go out and kind of get their disagreements out and just get it out. So it may have been that they went and had an argument and went and had a bit of a fight or whatever else. But that's, at the end of the day, that's life, man. It's like, it really is. That's what's always happened, and that's how people start. That's how people always. When there were two people butting heads, it was very difficult for them to sort it out without going to the next level. And so it's easier. So in that instance, for example, if your opinion wasn't that strong, you wouldn't push it because actually it didn't matter that much. And that's the crazy thing now is that people, even though maybe they don't believe in that opinion, they want to push it, and it's a really bad situation that we find ourselves in, where we're not able to distinguish what's important and what's not important. If it's important, then you take it to the like the extreme. If it's not important, then you keep quiet because you don't want to cause problems. And that's, to me, that's what's happened now. So it's a real, I don't know. We're in a strange situation now where people kind of don't want to hear other people's opinions and learn from them. Maybe change their own opinion. Maybe not. Maybe change the other person's opinion. It's really sad at the end of the day. So yeah, it's I don't know. We need to learn to get back to what we were at previously, which was being able to have friends and family who had. You might have had somebody who was a member of your family who had a different political persuasion, and they you didn't want to like completely dismiss them. You wanted to have that argument and then bring them back in, like knowing that you love these people. Like why do you want to cancel? It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. It's just something that we I spoke about with a friend of mine the other day, and we just came to the conclusion that why would you want to keep cancelling kind of people who have similar have different opinions to yours? Because that used to always be the thing. That used to always be the thing that you would kind of have these conversations to try and guide somebody, especially like young people, and you would try and guide them to a better conclusion. And it just doesn't happen anymore, sadly. It'd be good if we could start getting back to those places. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. We need to kind of accept that other people have different opinions. People do have different opinions to us, and it's based around their own life experiences and like everybody, like people on the left, people on the right. The reasons that they have different opinions is because they've led different lives, and that's it. And so, unless you're going to completely dismiss a part of the population, which you don't want to do, because that's how you create a diverse society. But unless you want to completely dismiss that other side of the population, then you've got to accept that there are other opinions, and I don't know. It's just, for me, that's got to be the way that we get back to living a kind of a good life and get rid of all this silliness where we're starting to kind of kick people out. And I mean, like an example was that I saw on Twitter today, which was absolutely incredible, and I'm going to find it for you now, and just read it out to you. So basically, it was here. So obviously in the US, you've got all this presidential stuff at the moment, which is kind of people really arguing, Republicans, Democrats, and at the end of the day, like, my opinion is they're two wings of the same bird. Like they're both the same, and people are so staunchly Republican or so staunchly like left wing, like Democrat, that they don't see that it's the same kind of government ruling over them, not giving them, not especially at working class level, not giving them the freedom and kind of the respect that they deserve as people. So anyway, so Kirstie Alley of Cheers fame, I think she was in Cheers, she posted today, "I'm voting for real Donald Trump because he's not a politician. I voted for him 4 years ago for this reason, and she'll vote for him again for this reason. He gets things done quickly, and he will turn the economy around quickly. There you have it, folks. There you have it, right?" So she posted that. Cool. That's her opinion. And then I don't know if this is her friend or I don't even know if she knows this person, but it's somebody. It looks like it was somebody from like Star Trek or something by the looks of her Twitter account in the past. But anyway, I don't know if it's a friend, but basically she retweeted it and said, "You are now dead to me." And like that's the mad thing for me these days is that people are genuinely saying things like "you're dead to me." Like it's a madness. It really is. Excuse me. Like why so extreme? Like I can have friends who have opinions, and if I don't agree with the opinion, I might start a conversation with them where I try and challenge their opinion. But you know what? Like my friends and my family, their relationship with me is more important. It's way more important than arguing over politics, arguing over somebody who I'll never meet, who's got the delusion of ruling over me. They don't. Like that's how I feel about my friends and family. So to dismiss somebody and say you're now dead to me because you're going to vote for President Trump, when in all honesty, like when you compare what Trump's done to the previous presidents, there's not enough difference that would make you say, okay, like he's horrendous and is way worse than anybody else. There's nothing there. Like there's no difference. Like I'm not saying he's the best president ever, and I'm not saying I'm not giving my opinion that way on him. But what I'm saying is he's no worse than the previous presidents. So to take that and then dismiss your friends and say like you're dead to me, I don't want to speak to you again because it's ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. It's really stupid. So you're going to say, like, we've been friends for 20 years, and then you're going to say to me, I don't want to speak to you anymore. It's stupid, man. Get a grip. Get a grip. Like, you've got friends. People who are watching this now, you've got friends and family who maybe vote the opposite way that you vote, or they have a different opinion to you, or even, like, they make stupid comments, and you may not agree with them, but they're still your friends, and they're still your family. Like we all do stupid things all the time. We all make mistakes, and we need to keep that in our mind. We need to keep in our mind that we can always look after our friends and family, regardless of what their opinions are or what they do. Or so, like, I guess, like my message in this live stream is just we just need to be a bit more human and a bit more. Like we need to remember that we need to start to question ourselves why, if we are cancelling people and if we are saying like you're an asshole, you're dead to me, I hate you, you're dumb, you don't know what you're voting for, you don't, like, we need to just realise that those people are human and that they're making their decisions based on their experiences in their life. And respect that, man. Like, respect it. Don't try and kind of influence and if they don't vote the way that you want, or if they don't do what you want, then like don't force the issue. It's really silly, man. It's really silly. So that's where we've got to get back to there. That's where we've got to get back to. We've got to get back to empathy. We've got to get back to being humble and just listening to somebody's opinion and taking it on board, but not saying, "Oh my God, you idiot! You're voting for somebody. You're voting for Trump. You're voting for Biden. You're whatever." Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's a pantomime. The whole thing that you're losing your friends and family over is a pantomime. It really is. It's nothing more than a theatre. You're only watching what an elite have put in power. Like, I'm going to say, do you honestly believe this is US politics now, but do you honestly believe that Biden was the best candidate over Tulsi Gabbard and who was the other guy? Bernie Sanders. You honestly think Biden was better than those people? No, they put in power who they wanted in power. The reason they didn't put Tulsi in or Bernie was simply because they weren't establishment figures. They weren't people that they wanted in power. So my point about that is you've got to stop. Like you've got to stop cancelling your friends and family and people around you, and even people you interact with online. Like if they're making comments and if you don't like what they're saying, just stop talking to them. Because at the moment, people are riling each other up and kind of. I mean, it was horrendous. Did you see the guy who got? Did you see the guy who got punched in the face by Antifa I don't know what day it was. It might have been today or yesterday, when he was just walking through for a Trump rally and he got punched in the face and got all his front teeth knocked out. Jesus Christ, man! Like, what's going on? Like these people. Like, okay, so statistically, Trump has done a decent job with the economy. He's done a decent job militarily because the US hasn't had a war. He's like, I think I read somewhere he's the first president since Eisenhower that if he reaches the end of his term without going to war or declaring war, he's the first president since Eisenhower to do that. So he's not done too bad. However, he's still a super wealthy guy. He belongs in, I don't know, the top 1% of the population, of the global population. So he doesn't really represent you, does he? So there's no amount of falling out with your family and friends that you can do that's gonna kind of change the situation. Like it's time to stop fighting people who have a different opinion to yours and falling out over Trump and Biden, who are both established wealthy people. It's just mad. It's madness. So I don't know, like what paths what areas have you got experiences like this where your friends and family have tried to push you in a certain direction, or I don't know, like if you've got any experience of this, please let me know. Drop it in the chat now. Is there anybody in the chat? I don't know. Can have a little look. Just let me know. Let me know in the chat. There's a few people watching, but nobody's commenting yet. So please leave a comment if you can. But I don't know. It's time to be. We've just got to be more humble these days. And it's the same with mistakes as well. Like genuine mistakes that people make, and they can be quite bad mistakes as well. But why we feel the need to destroy somebody over a pretty bad over a mistake. If somebody, whatever the mistake is, if somebody recognises that it was a mistake and it wasn't malicious and it was an error of judgment, then why do we destroy them over that? No. And again, it's friends and family. It's just it's the society that we're in at the moment. Like, I remember as I was growing up, as I kind of went into like pub management and different things. So like I went into these industries, and I covered, like, this is what we used to call it, but I covered for people who made big mistakes, and I covered for them. And the reason why I covered for them and I put my neck on the line for them was twofold. One was that I knew that they recognised what they'd done was wrong, and there was no kind of there was nothing to be gained from destroying them and from like ruining their career or whatever. So I knew that they'd done something wrong. But also, when people realise that you are humble enough to recognise their mistake, forgive them, and give them another chance and support them, God, the loyalty that you get from that, the loyalty from your friends, from your family, from your co-workers, because you're forgiving them. So it's that kind of forgiveness. I guess it goes back to, like, for example, that forgiveness that a mother gives her child. So people always say that it doesn't matter. A mother will always forgive their child, no matter what. And it can be anything. Like, the child can commit the worst crime ever, and the mother will always forgive the child and support the child. And it's not to that degree, but it's along the same spectrum, in my opinion. That generally people are good people, but we all kind of make mistakes and do stupid things, and but it's up to the person who knows about these mistakes, or the mistake has been done to go, okay, cool. Like, you've come to me, and thank you for coming to me to tell me about this mistake. And I forgive you because I know that you didn't mean to do it, and I know that you're not going to do it again, and you're going to work to rectify what's happened. It's just, today when people make mistakes, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like for example, a really good example is the COVID thing. So, like, with lockdowns and with restrictions and all these things that are going on, why? So a politician, for example, goes and does something silly and travels outside of a lockdown, or he's seen without a mask on, or he's touching their nose, or, like, even I'm thinking about Joe Biden's press conferences, and, like, he's touching his nose, taking his mask off and rubbing his nose, and you're like, come on, man. Like, this guy is, like, making these little mistakes, and I understand that he's supposed to be like a presidential candidate, but it's just not. People are looking to destroy other people in the hope that it will gain them favour, and it never does. The only people that get ahead are the good people. Ultimately, it's the good. It's okay. So you get some bad people, but if you want to get ahead normally, without corruption, without all those things, it's just being a good person. And so that's what I say to you is the kind of should be your focus is be a good person. Just be a good person. Don't attack somebody for doing the wrong thing. If it's malicious, yes, fine. If it's really nasty, fine. But that's your judgment call. Like, that's up to you to judge how bad something can be before you want to forgive. But it's just little things like taking your mask off, little things like come on, just be better. That's my message, is be better. Just be more humble. Like, people are always going to make mistakes. Like, I think that's kind of why the British like mentality is where people say sorry all the time. Because, like, I'll say sorry. Like, here's a funny thing. Like, if I'm in the supermarket, or I could be, say supermarket, and I'm going around and somebody else does something, they cut in front of me with the trolley, or they do something, they stop, I'm walking over to something, they step in front of me or whatever. Like, the British thing is you say sorry, which is interesting, because it's not my fault, but I'll say sorry, but it's because, like, I recognise that person has made a mistake, and the likelihood is that they don't know, or they didn't mean it, or they didn't realise they were making a mistake. So for me to start shouting at them, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, why are you stepping in front of me? Why have you not got your mask on? Why are you voting for Trump? Why are you voting for Biden? What's wrong with you? Why do you not support Black Lives Matter? Why won't you kneel? Like, it's like, hang on. Like, they're mistakes, and they're like people, they're just normal people like you and me. So we've got to just stop doing that. We've got to be more humble. Like, that's the message that my live stream's about. And it just seems that in the past, people were more kind of more accepting of mistakes. And like you get, like there's an expression, the slap on the wrist. So you get a slap on the wrist. Like if you did something in your job that was a mistake, you get a slap on the wrist and that was it. These days, it's like you lose your job. That's it. You make a mistake. Oh my God, you've made a mistake. You've made a mistake. Out. Like, out. Off with his head. Off with his head. And it's just silly. It's just silly. Like, because what happens is it's because the media and social media has told us this is the way that we need to be. We need to be the judge, jury, and executioner of everybody. Because that's what it is these days. Come on. Like, how dare people make mistakes? So they've taught us to do that. And in the past, it wasn't the case. And people used to kind of give the slap on the wrist and, okay, carry on as normal. And because people didn't trust politicians or the political class or the media, people didn't generally kind of just accept what they were saying. They just why? Because that was so far removed from their real life. So their real life was completely different to that. But somehow these entities have managed to, entities being the media and the political class, have just managed to kind of get a foothold and say, actually, we're going to influence the way that you treat each other. It's wrong. And so what that breeds then is, so if you're going to give a life sentence to every single person who makes a mistake, so what happens when people do make mistakes? They're not going to come forward. They're not going to say, I'm so sorry, I've done this. They're not going to come forward because they're scared of being hung, drawn and quartered. They're scared of getting that life sentence. It's not, this is not a good way for us to be dealing with people. And like I say, it's about mutual loyalty. Like if you're looking out for each other and you make a mistake and somebody else kind of covers for you, and it's a mutual loyalty thing. You both look after each other. You care for each other. You say, okay, that guy, like I owe that person one. I owe that woman one. I owe that man one. I owe them one because they looked after me. I did something wrong and they looked after me. And I think it's like an underdog thing as well. Like I'm heavily for the underdog. I love the underdog. And so anybody who's the underdog, I'll always kind of back them and take their side. And I think that's another thing that it's about as well, is if you can back the underdog will win 9 times out of 10. Because the person who's not the underdog, or the organisation or the entity or whatever that's not the underdog, they believe they've got the upper hand, and they're always overconfident. It's always the underdog. When you believe in the underdog, it's those who win. Look, this weekend with Lopez and Lomachenko. Like, Lomachenko, I was convinced that Lomachenko will, like, that's it. He's the greatest of all time. He's never going to lose again. Never going to lose. And then this guy Lopez comes in and just outboxes him. Just outboxes him. And it just blew my mind. It blew my mind because I'm like, because my belief system was that Lomachenko's not gonna lose. But Lopez is like over here, and his cornermen and everything are like, do you know what? And I'll tell you what, like in the rounds, if he makes a mistake and he doesn't follow something his corner have said, and he's like he misses out on something, and he goes back to the corner and they say to him, what the fucking hell was that? Oh my God, you're so stupid. Like, oh, that was rubbish. Oh, you're going to lose this now. Like, do you know what? He would have lost. But when he goes back to the corner, they're like, do you know what? Forget about it. Like, you took a punch. Forget about it. Like, now's the time to get out there now. Now's the time to get out there. He's scared of you. And so that's where they've got his back. Like, they're his corner. They're supporting him. And that's what we need to do. That's clearly what we need to do in life right now, is support people, support our friends, support our family, and not let it get personal. Like for me, it's like a tragedy. So I'd say, like, make sure, I would say, do everything you can to help people to be able to recognise their mistakes, or to feel open to have these conversations with you. We've got to all make more of an effort to get along. We all used to get along, and it's a case of, it's always been the case within kind of the 20th century, I would imagine, where we've needed, it sounds terrible, but we've needed wars to bring everybody together, because everybody gets divided and you need to bring everybody back together. But it doesn't need to be like that. We can bring everybody back together. We don't need it like a civil war between right and left again, because that's the way it's going. It really is the way that it's going if we're not careful. But we don't need to do that. What we need to do is we need to start to get along, and we need to start to compromise and be a bit more understanding, really. Like, if somebody's got a different opinion to yours, it's because, and listen, I'm not saying to you like you accept bullshit from somebody. If somebody is oppressing you, if somebody is bullying you, if somebody is like taking the piss, whatever it is, if somebody's treating you bad, then I'm not saying to you like accept what they're saying, whatever. No. There's lines to be drawn. Like, when that happens, and that happens to us in everyday life, then you've got to take action and you deal with it. You deal with it as you see necessary. But what I'm talking about is like these political discussions and these stupid things that don't really matter. That's where we've got to be better. And you've just got to understand that these people have genuine reasons for their opinions, even political opinions. Like, people have lived a different life to you. So, like, I see, for example, on Twitter, I see a lot of different commentators on the left and on the right, and they're always at each other's throat and retweeting each other and trying to score points, and I'm like, okay, I can see both sides though. I can see both sides that these are your experiences. Like, okay, so you're from a working class, and you've like felt that pinch of a working class and have had to count your pennies, and so that's the working class, and so you're going to vote this way. Or, okay, so you're that side, and your family's had a business all their life and been doing really, really well, and okay, and so you respect this, and you like the fact that this politician said this, and we just need to kind of understand that there's genuine reasons why people feel like they do, and not dismiss them, as happened with, for example, with Trump being elected and with Brexit. Like, the amount of people who turned around then and said, you don't know what you're voting for. Yeah, people do know what they're voting for. They're voting for their conscience and for their heart and for like for the experiences that they've been through. So don't tell people they don't know what they're voting for just because it's not what you voted for. It's so stupid. We've just got to accept, okay, so I've lost. Like today, I've lost. Fine. That's fine. I've lost. What can I do? I can't do anything. But what we can do, like, is we can understand their point of view. We can kind of think about it and say, okay, so I like try and understand where they're coming from. Like, that's what we need to start to do. Yeah, we've just got to try and be more empathetic to these people, because at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of destroying our society. We've just got to try and sort it out. Like, another element that like before doing this live stream I started to think about was, like, if it's not hurting you or anyone else, then why would you why would you allow it to destroy relationships and why would you allow it to affect you? So why not let it slide? If it's not actually directly affecting you, just let it slide, man. Let it slide. These are your family and friends that we're talking about. It's not worth the kind of the hassle and the concern and the worry, and this is not like what we need to be concerning ourselves with. So I'd say, like, just start thinking about what's going on in the world, and like wherever you are in the world, hold the people who are close to you, hold them dear, and accept them for who they are, and for all their opinions and everything. Like, don't say, okay, I'm not gonna. This isn't for me. I don't like the way you're voting. I don't like who you like, the opinion that you hold. I don't like these things. Like, you need to make sure that it's crazy, man. I mean, let me know. Do you think that at the moment people are kind of too polarized now? Like, it just seems a bit crazy to me. It seems like people are angry at the wrong people. Instead of being angry at the politicians, people are angry at each other. And it shouldn't be like that. And especially if it's your family and friends. Like, I imagine there's Christmas coming up. I imagine there's like a lot of people are going to be really, really kind of upset with each other, and it's just like because of the way they're going to vote, or because of the way that they're treating COVID and all of these things. It's just mad. Like, your friends and family are your friends and family. So I'd say make an extra effort to just accept them, warts and all. So that's like their opinions and all. So like even crazy Uncle Frank who believes that COVID's a conspiracy and all of this sort of stuff. Like, okay, Frank, that's cool, man. Like, come and talk to me about it. Like, it might not be kind of what I believe, or it might not be what I'm thinking about COVID, but like, come and talk to me. Like, reach out to your friends and family. Reach out to your friends and family and just make them realise that actually you've got their back, and it doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter. Like, listen to their stories, argue with them, like argue the point with them, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there's so much more that you can kind of gain from your family than you would if you just dismiss them and cancel them and say, okay, like, sorry, I'm not interested anymore. And I've said this before as well. Like, if it's bad behaviour, then fair enough. If it's somebody who's kind of showing really bad behaviour, like, that's fair enough. You don't, like, I'm not saying like accept people right to the nth degree and where they've gone so far that they're like impacting on your life directly, personally. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, like, if it's just over opinions, like, let it slide, man. It's not worth it. These politicians aren't going to have your back. Trust me. Politicians won't have your back, but your friends and family will. So I just think it's time to be more humble, and just be more forgiving. Just be like, okay, I don't agree with you, but that's fine. That's cool. So what do you think? Like, do you think we've gone too extreme? Do you think like people are too extreme now? Let me know what you think. Like, leave me some comments. I'd really like to know your thoughts, but I feel that it may have gone a bit too extreme now. instead of being more open-minded and able to have adult conversations. It's sad, really. So, like, I'd like you to go away from this live and be more conscious of the interactions that you have with the people around you, and see where you can improve on that. See, like, try and be conscious. So as you go into conversations with people, try and be conscious about it. So when they're saying certain things, try and think, okay, like, that's fine. Oh, you're voting for Trump. Okay, I don't agree with you. This is why I don't agree with you, but that's fine. Like, cool, okay. Give me a hug. Come here. Yeah? That's what I'm saying. It's you've got to be more conscious of that people have got their own experiences, and it's based a lot around that. And there may not be comfortable experiences, there may be difficult experiences. So that's why people are so passionate, because they want to fight their corner. So all I'm saying is you just need to be more compassionate, more empathetic. Listen to them. Listen to the people around you, and not throw them away and just say, I'm not interested in what you've got to say. It's just because it's bad. It's bad. It will change your life. Trust me. When you've got that, when you've kind of got that off your shoulders, you're going to feel a lot less heavy. You're going to feel more chilled out. Because you're going to have your friends and family still around you. Like, the amount of times I disagree with my friends and family, and we might even have these little arguments and whatever, but at the end of it, once you've so I've calmed down, it's still my friend, it's still my family, whatever, and I'm not going to dismiss their opinion either. It's fine. Okay, so we disagree. Let's agree to disagree. It's fine. It's fine. So that's all I'm saying. Like, don't be treating people around you like that, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's been taught, and it's not worth it. So thank you very much. Like, listen, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me some comments. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the little bell button so that you get notified whenever there's a new live stream. And just, I mean, if you want to speak to me kind of day to day, ask me some questions. Like, let's talk about different things. Then follow me on Twitter at chrisrussellhosp. Sorry, chrisrussellhosp. Follow me on there and like, just tweet me. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody. I'm really, really open and like, I like to talk about different things and discuss them and kind of thrash things out, even if we don't agree. Like, I like to thrash things out so that at the end we can still kind of be cordial and be friends and talk and all of those sorts of things. That's what life's about. It's about smoothing out the issues. And if you take back to our ancestors, if you look at our current ancestors on the planet, apes and chimps, so like the apes, chimps and things like that, they have their disagreements and they thrash it out. And that's how it works out. It just so happens that we've got a bigger brain, and we're able to distinguish between the emotions of kind of our opinion and the other opinion, and then kind of we want to attack the other opinion. We've evolved past that. We should be able to kind of forgive, forget, be more humble. No? So thank you very much for tuning into this live. If you know anybody else who'd love to get involved, and I want to see more comments soon, because like, I want to see what people think, and I want to see the kind of the opinions of the people who are watching the live stream. So that's all for me today. Next week, next Monday, I'm going to be talking about, are big tech too powerful and controlling our lives? Are they controlling us? Have they influenced us as now? Have they influenced us, and is that why we're cancelling our friends and family? I don't know. Are they affecting elections? Are they trying to control elections? Are they controlled by other countries? I don't know. That's what I'm going to discuss next week. So if you're interested, please come along and let's talk about it, because I think it kind of the influence at the moment that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube have got, it's huge. and how much are they influencing our lives? That's what we've got to ask ourselves. So I look forward to it. So next time, please grab yourself a drink, come and sit down and let's talk. Thanks very much, guys. Speak to you soon.